You ready to go? I'm gonna do a little tour of the trail. It's been, geez, I feel like it's been well over a year since I've actually kind of given an update on where things are at, but added a ton of distance this year, just knowing I'd be riding home a lot more. I've kind of added like a bit of a warm-up loop, but I haven't even tracked the distance. I just put a new line in the top of the driveway that runs parallel to Fred Pins, which I'm considering calling Fred Twins. Hoping it might be something that we can actually run one-on-one races on, which would be super fun too. But let's go on the tour and see where we end up here and how long it takes to actually do one full kind of session of everything on the beach. You coming, Connie? All right, we start with the little warm-up lap. Up the driveway. Bomb down by the shed. We're gonna start on Fred Twins, the newest trail, which I've only actually ridden once so far. So still pretty fresh. Whoa, stay. Alright, I'm gonna head down the ridge. So this has been rerouted a little bit over the years. Just kind of give a few more options up and back, so you're just not repeating the same stuff over and over. This stuff has all been bench cut. A lot of shovel work. There's a lollipop at the end. Berm. Little kick at the end, shoots us right back up the same trail. We're going to head to the top of the jump line, but an alternative route now that cuts through the middle, brings to the top of the flow line. So it's just like a nice little way to ease into it a little bit more rather than jumping right away. A little skinny here halfway through. We head up this little climb loop that just opens up an option to do this little warm-up or even just session the tabletop in here, which has been pretty cool. Now we're in kind of the middle of the flow line. Outside. So that little section has been rebuilt so many times and flow is really nice now. So this course is all new this year. Pond projects that swimming for another day, but it's a work in progress. Okay, now we go up the big climb. Okay, so now I'm going to do the full flow line. We'll head down the bridge and reverse it. Woo! That was not smooth. So this time I'm going to climb up where we normally kind of come down on the jump line, but it's also a nice way to kind of get a little bit more out of these trails. So I'm doing this on the e-bikes, you know, doesn't hear me breathe so heavy, but this is the Yamaha Moro 7. Which I've been, I went on the 05 in the spring and rode the 7 all summer. Definitely here at home more than anything, but it's, of all the e-bikes I've ridden, especially in the larger category, the suspension feels really dialed on this one. It's the one that feels like you can probably compensate for the weight the best. So it's actually been a super fun bike on this system that's really compact with a lot of punchy climbs. It's really where it comes to life because we don't have the big train, at least in my area. So this is a new addition from last year. Basically gives us the option to reverse the lollipop. Things up on this skinny line, but then you get a steep chute across over the trail, a little huck. And this ties back in with the OG lollipop on the ridge that has been retired, but this is giving us a chance to kind of resurrect it. Let's go to the ditch gap. There's a new addition this year. Whew. We'll go back up the big climb. Neighbors out doing some work. Now we're gonna head up and do Fred Pins. One shout out to the first one. Connie, you actually gonna do it or are you just gonna bark at me? Come on. You got it, girl. Hopefully she goes. She's feeling it. Okay. Woo! The suspension actually doesn't sound very healthy right now. Still dialing this one in. It's honestly like the third time I've been on this bike, so still needs a little bit of tweaking to get it dialed. So now I'm taking the original loop that I actually put in the first thing we put down on this trail just to open it up. But it's a nice little punchy climb. It brings us right back up to the yard. Again, especially if you're sessioning a couple of those farther descents. So that's a little bit of everything. I did skip the wooden drops where there's the ditch jump. That's one of those optional lines. You can pick one or the other and just depending on how you're feeling, but a ton of fun. It's super fortunate to have this in the yard, and it's something that you can just ride every day and keep building on what you love to ride and what challenges you and pushes you a little further. So that was, what do we got for distance here? So that was just over three kilometers. It feels like it's really coming together now, and I'm hoping next year will be a little bit less about adding distance and a little bit more about kind of dialing things in and maintenance too, because maintenance is becoming tough to stay on top of because there's just so much trail. But either way, I'm going to try to share maybe a little bit more content this year coming up. The past year has definitely been a little wild, so kind of getting back into it, but I'll always be riding regardless.